Welcome to Across Africa, our weekly look at stories from across the continent. I'm Georgia Calvin-Smith, and this week, Congolese authorities say that they'll clamp down on shoddy construction after an accident in Kinshasa in February in which 26 people were killed. Also, a top Nigerian model agency launches the search for the face of a continent. Future Face Africa is not just about giving African models a platform, but aims to sign the winners with international agencies and spotlight African talent worldwide. And we head into the deep blue with South African freediving instructor Zandi Ndhlovu. She's set up an organisation to get more young people into the sea in the hopes that they'll become custodians of their nation's oceans. But first, DR Congo plans on cracking down on illegal construction across the country. The urgency of the drive was brought into focus after a high-voltage electric cable fell on a market in February, killing 26 people on the spot. Buildings often go up in dangerous or unsuitable sites because of corruption and poor urban planning. Campaigners say that's got to change. Our team reports.
Every time Joel Kiana drives around Kinshasa, he's struck by the same thing. Countless buildings have been built in violation of urban planning regulations. This church, for example, has gone up just below a high-voltage power line.
In DR Congo, it's illegal to build anything under a high-voltage power line. The law specifies a minimum safety distance of at least 50 meters.
According to local authorities, 40% of buildings in Kinshasa are illegal, which means that they were built without formal state approval. In the neighbouring district of Yolo, residents live just a few metres from a river. Heavy rains cause severe flooding several times per year.
When it rains, the water goes up to this level.
Jose bought this plot of land more than 10 years ago. He says he wasn't aware of the rules when he built his house.
I went to see the chief of the neighbourhood, and when I bought the plot, I was given a piece of paper, a title deed, but I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't realise I needed a building permit.
Joel Kiana is a town planner. He believes authorities bear their share of responsibility for unregulated construction. He says they often allow the sale of land unsuitable for building.
Plots of land are being sold in areas where it's illegal to build, and this is where the problem begins. Authorities are breaking the law because all these documents are granted on behalf of the state.
The Congolese government, meanwhile, has promised to tighten oversight of its employees.
We have many legal tools at our disposal, including setting up a one-stop shop for building permits. That way, there won't be any confusion for those who want to build a house. They'll have a single door to knock on.
Authorities say they'll also impose tougher penalties on citizens who build without a permit and systematically demolish unsafe structures.
Well, prices are shooting up in Ghana. The cost of housing, transport and food have all seen steep hikes. And last month, the country registered the highest inflation rate it's seen in almost 6 years. Consumers and businesses are feeling the pinch.
Flour, water and salt first, then margarine. The basic ingredients necessary to make bread and products whose price has soared in recent months in Ghana, where inflation hit its highest figure in 6 years.
All things that we need to produce bread have been increased, some on monthly or weekly basis, and whenever you are trying to stand, then an increment will come, then you need to go back again.
This baker opened his business 25 years ago with a childhood friend, seen here distributing loaves across Accra. Inflation, due in part to COVID-related supply disruptions, has brought them to the brink of bankruptcy. Increasing the price of bread is banned in Ghana, and clients say they would not buy their bread if they reduce its size. The two friends are running out of options.
I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a born and bred Ghanaian. I've never traveled anywhere before. This is my country. And if I cannot make it in my own country, then where am I going to make it?
25 years of waking up at 3 a.m. and working hard. The bakery hasn't been an easy way to make a living, but it was their dream, which they kept afloat for so long and which soon could collapse.
The world's indigenous languages are disappearing. Almost half of the known 6,511 languages in the world are endangered as marginalized minority communities fall silent. In Kenya, the Yaku tribe in the Rift Valley is fighting to keep its native tongue alive.
These students are learning Yakunte, a language declared extinct by UNESCO a decade ago. Their teacher is one of only 3 people in the world who can speak it fluently.
I'm now the pillar of this language. So, I mean, it's for now for me to commit everything, to sacrifice everything, so that I will never even a single day slide. Because when I slide, I've just spoken it, the language will die.
Yakunte was widely spoken in Mukogodo Forest by her ancestors until the 1940s. But the larger, more powerful Maasai community moved onto Yaku land, diluting their native tongue and culture. Now Juliana and her tribe are looking to revive it.
Professor. Oh.
UNESCO estimates that roughly 1/10 of African languages may disappear within the next century. Juliana's grandfather taught her Yakunte when she was a little girl. He is now its last native speaker. Juliana is involved in various efforts to save the language.
English, able B, Yaku, K.
With the assistance of this NGO, she's recording an audio dictionary for a Yakunte learning app.
But now with technology, you can put audio, visual, and and the text together into one. So that's the advantage that technology has brought.
They plan to finish recording the dictionary by December 2022. Juliana hopes her efforts will pay off and future generations will inherit the language.
Nigerian Elizabeth Isyoru runs a top agency and wants to see more faces from the continent on catwalks around the world. She's organised the Future Face Africa casting competition with a view to getting the winners a 2-year contract with an internationally renowned agency. Our team went to have a look.
At the edge of this swimming pool of a luxury hotel in Lagos, these novice models are concentrated on their rehearsal. The swing of the arms, the gaze into the distance, the posture. Every detail counts for John Arthur, who's been recruiting for Beth Models Management for the last 5 years.
Brands would want to get someone not just to wear their clothes, but then feel their goal, feel their passion. So that is where personality comes in. You have to be someone that when you enter a room, you are not shy, you are a go-getter, you are open.
Elizabeth Isyoru heads up the agency. A former Miss Nigeria Great Britain, she now manages nearly 300 models in Africa. This talent scout has won the trust of major haute couture fashion houses. She believes in what she does and works hard, but her own experience as a former model gives her insight into the job.
17 years old, I actually really wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a top model. And a few years down the line, it didn't work out for me. And I decided to set up my modeling agency when I was 24. So seeing this, I know how desperate, models want to be out there. They want to be known. So I know how they feel. So for me, it's a journey that I always see, and I'm always happy when I discover them at the age of 15, 16.
1,600 candidates across 7 African countries auditioned for the Future Face Africa competition. Then 20 was selected for an intense training camp before the final in Lagos. The models head out onto the catwalk before a star-studded audience. Some have already signed with Beth Model Management. The agency's quality credentials are recognized worldwide.
Selection for us is definitely trying to get them signed into agencies internationally. That's our aim for Future Face Africa. And I'm so happy with the finalists. Guys from Angola and Rwanda. It's been an amazing show.
In winning this first edition, Angola's Anna Campos and Rwanda's Ken Zizer will start their career at a big international agency and try to follow in the footsteps of Maiwa Nicholas and Davison Obenebo, 2 models in great demand and both launched by Elizabeth Isioho.
For Zandi Ndhlovu, plunging to new depths is a good thing. With many South Africans unable to swim, she set up an organisation that helps underprivileged young people get their feet wet and, hopefully, become stewards of the wonders beneath their coastal waters.
They call her the Black Mermaid. With one breath, Zandi Ndhlovu can dive down to 34 meters deep into the ocean for 4 minutes long.
In the beginning, I was afraid. I didn't grow up around the sea, and for me it was new. I just remember when I got to 23 meters and I could not go deeper. Not because I didn't have the breath hold for it, but because I was afraid of all the stories that we'd grown up with.
She has since become the first black person in South Africa to qualify as a freediving instructor, a job she didn't know existed 20 years ago.
These oceans haven't always been open to everybody. We have a hard history as a country. And so I think waters are new to black and brown communities in a way where it's a free space for us to explore, but we need to learn.
She lives in Cape Town now, but Zandile grew up in Soweto, far from the coast. As a child, she only visited the ocean once.
So what is crazy is here we are on the surface, and never ever did we know that there was life that lived under there. And that's why everyone always says to me to this day, why do you do white people things?
In apartheid South Africa, beaches like these were restricted to white people only. Zandile works actively to open the ocean up to all communities.
Have you swum in the sea before? No. See, this is my mermaid.
Through the Black Mermaid Foundation, she shows underprivileged children how to explore the ocean so they'll grow up unafraid and become custodians.
I believe that diverse representation in the ocean space is the most important thing. If we want to save these oceans, we need all hands on deck. So you just need to be careful. And we can put it back nicely. There we go, beautifully.
Oh, that kid is too adorable. That is, though, all we have time for on Across Africa. Thanks for joining us, and do so again if you can. Till then, take care.